Hello, hello, Rise and Thrivers. We are so excited to welcome you as we continue celebrating Women's History Month. Here at Rise and Thrive, we are a vibrant community committed to educating, empowering, and equipping you to get the results you want through real talk, real actions, real results. If you are new to listening to us and watching us, we want to welcome you to Rise and Thrive, and we ask that you buckle in and get ready. I want to before we bring on our guests, I want to introduce my sister Regina to you. Hey, sis, how are you?
Hey, everybody. I am great. Hey, Raquel. It's so great to be on tonight. I am pumped for tonight's conversation.
I'm excited. But before we get to our conversation, we are super excited about our giveaway. If you missed our conversation last week, we have been blessed with several companies giving us giveaways. Yay! The companies are Mary Kay Ultimate Wireless and the Eisenberg Leadership Academy. Now, I know you're asking, how do I get these prizes? Well, really simple. During our live show, when you provide substantive feedback, like engage with the our guest, ask a question, a probing question, simply saying awesome show, yeah, thank you, we appreciate those comments, but that is not enough to have you entered into the drawing to win one of the awesome prizes from our giveaway sponsors. Okay, and it's only during the live show that you're eligible. At the end of the month, so our last show in March is when we will do draw the winners. Okay, and you can't win more than once. So just so everyone's aware, we got to give everyone a chance. But be sure to engage with the guests that we'll have on and write something substantive in the comments. Okay. All right, sis, I'm going to turn it over to you to bring our guest on. Super
All
excited.
right. I am super excited to introduce this woman who has been so instrumental and influential in my growth and development personally and through business. It is who I get to be blessed to be called a mentor and now one of my dearest friends, Blanca Irene Perper. Let me tell you a little bit about her. Blanca has a lot of names and she likes to be just called that, Blanca. She's the founder of Laws of Life, LLC, a company dedicated to empowering and energizing individuals through media and entertainment solutions. Laws of Life is a full service digital marketing agency, and you can visit that agency at www.simplelawsoflife.shop for more details. She's also the Director of Litigation for the Mager Paruas Firm in Hollywood, Florida, handling personal injury, contract law, business law, litigation, and divorce. She's excelled as a lawyer for over 28 years and has served as a trial lawyer, voted Lawyer of the Year at the Public Defender's Office, head of litigation for a publicly traded corporation, Owen Loan Services, LLC, and partner of two major law firms, Morris Lang, Evans, Brock, and Kennedy and Greenstein and Associates, and is also the inventor of a fully patented, custom-built email management program called Ingate, which she invented to process high volumes of corporate email. Blanca's true calling is to produce television shows on a variety of topics, educate and empower her audience. The collective influences with the Laws of Life reaches almost 74,000 followers in South Florida. Blanca believes in the power of networking, and she is passionate about being an international motivational and educational talk show host. She is the host and founder of the longest running weekly online networking show called the Laws of Life Talk Show and Networking Summit, which is every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zoom. Blanca is a superior public speaker that fires up her audience and motivates her listeners to be the best person they can possibly be. Blanca is a force to be reckoned with and appears as a speaker of events worldwide. Here is my friend. Give it up for Blanca Purple Greenstein. Woo-hoo. Hey, Blanca.
Hello, beautiful ladies. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. And it's such an honor to be with both of you, Regina, Raquel. I am so fired up to be here right now. So excited.
We are so excited that you were able to take time out of your busy schedule. I was listening to your bio and I was like, I got kind of exhausted just listening to everything that you do. And I think my first question is, where do you find the energy to do all of this stuff?
Well, that's a lot of different wonderful coaches and mentors that have helped me. My meditation coach, Sunny Arfa, my vision coach, Johnny Regan, my fitness coach, nutrition, health, and really just good friends, co-visionaries like the two of you, people that are
Mm.
creative, fun, and positive.
That's so
Mm.
awesome. But Blanca, we're celebrating Women's History Month here at Rise and Thrive Together. And we're doing it all month long. And we wanted to have you on because we know you've got some golden nuggets to drop on our audience to help us come together as women. Not that men aren't invited, but it is Women's History Month.
Okay, I love it.
So now I know you're going to talk about some laws today. And I'm super interested because you're focusing on the business aspect of it.
This is true. Really the 10 laws of building a powerful female business relationship.
Hmm, that's so important. What made you choose that topic? Just curious before you dive in. I think it's phenomenal. I'm just wondering what made you choose that topic to talk about?
Well, I wanted to be something about in the spirit and theme of women's empowerment, and I wanted
Mm,
it to be something that involves business. So I put those two concepts together and decided to create a new set of laws of life.
that's awesome. So smart. I love it. What about you, sis? Isn't that incredible?
It is. For those people who don't realize, I have a special, special heart for Blanca. She is the only person who has trademarked laws of life.
Mm.
Like, do you get it? Like, she is that smart as a businesswoman to trademark laws of life. So, if you get an opportunity on Tuesdays, like you said, to come onto the summit Zoom, that's amazing. But she gets to really empower and educate every single human being, no matter where you think you are from your status. There is none. And she is
Mm,
just out to have us be able to speak our vision into reality and get out there to practice with one
Mm.
another. More than that, to collaborate and partner up. And for me, I'm proud to say my 1 year anniversary of being on there every single Tuesday, except for one so far. And, and make friendships. So this whole idea of business, like in the part of the business part of that, I love it. Business relationships. And thank you for doing the theme of female business relationships.
Mm.
So I'm ready. I'm ready to like dive right in and get to those trademark laws of life, those 10 beautiful
I'm getting
laws.
chills. Well, I mean, we can break down each one, because I want it to be an interactive dialogue with all of us and our audience, so we can just break down one at a time. But I would say the very first law that I have is to share a vision, right? And so if
Mm.
you can find a vision to share with another person, another woman, business, just sort of like the two of you ladies are the perfect example of that. My vision was to create a television network through social media and the Roku channel. And then the two of you beautiful goddesses, shared in my vision. And then together we co created. And to
Mm.
me, that's the most important law. And that's why it's number one vision. Co
Let's
I
creating
get what
love
vision.
it.
Joanna Trust said. Joanna's one of the people that have been on, and she is the reason why I was introduced. She says it's great to have guidelines to enhance business relationships between women so that we are empowered and effective. So, what do you say about
Nice.
that, Blanca? We got the vision,
Well,
and then
yeah.
anything you want to say about guidelines?
Well, there are laws of etiquette, there are laws of business, and it is important to write them down and then make
Mm,
them a practice. So I agree. Rules of engagement make a very, very big difference and really help everybody succeed and be successful. So it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. I think it's a very powerful comment that Joanna made, and I love you, Joanna. And Joanna has also shared in the vision of the Laws of Life Networking Summit every Tuesday at 11 by coming in, by bringing people into the meeting every Tuesday. So when we share that vision, like Shanique said, thank you, Shanique, for your comment. And that's actually how you do make it come to life. Because I once, when I was at the Global Vision Conference, this vision came to me that vision is like a lantern, and it only comes to life when someone else breathes light and
mm,
support and love into it.
mm.
Mm,
Wow.
So
I love
yeah,
that.
Shanique is on the money with that one. The next really big law that always comes up is clear communication.
Mm,
And really,
Mm,
really, like, especially with women, like when you start a new friendship, find out what are their rules of engagement. Are they texters? Are they emailers? Because you can really break down a relationship when you're texting someone, or some people don't have email. You can't presume that everyone does. And then when they don't respond to your email, you get upset. And, we as women can take that very personally when someone doesn't
mm,
respond to communication. So, find out. I mean, I could break this down more. How do you communicate? I tell everybody I'm a texter, I'm a phone person. You want to talk to me? Call me you know and just being really, the biggest one is keeping your promise. If you say you're going
mm.
to be on someone's show, show up on time. If you say you're going to go to someone's event, show up. Just really keep your promise and be in integrity.
Wow. You know what I find interesting, and you've only given us two laws. What I find interesting is even though we're focusing on female business empowerment, these are definitely laws of life for just relationships, like even intimate relationships. There's so many couples that I find that don't share their vision. They share it in the beginning because they're excited and they want the person to like them and whatnot. But then as they grow and have different experiences and change, their goals or their visions may change, they don't share that with their significant other. And clear communication. I love the fact that you said clear, not just communication. It has to be clear, and effective communication is so key. So I'm loving these. I'm already taking notes. So I don't want to interrupt anymore.
No, I love your feedback. I love it. The third law is reciprocity, by
Mm,
offering support and resources. So it can't be, and like you said, Raquel, it applies to business, but it applies to friendship and it applies to love. Is it can't be a one-way street. There has to be, reciprocity. Rule number 3. There has to be a mutual exchange, and it
mm,
has to be fair and balanced. Because if one person is doing all the giving and one person is doing all the taking, it's not going to work. And
right.
that's why written documents, like Joanna points out, are important. You should have an agreement. And this is part where my lawyer hat can also kick in.
Mm,
If you need a contract with another entrepreneur, that is the most wonderful way to preserve a relationship. Because what is a contract? It's a documentation of the rules of engagement. What are you
right.
receiving? What am I receiving? And if you don't honor your word, it's not going to work out. And Shanique says,
Right.
hallelujah. But yes, get a contract. But even if you don't have a contract, in the spirit of reciprocity and it's just a handshake, just make sure that it's balanced.
Mm,
Because I've been guilty of overgiving, and it was a big business lesson for me to learn. But I'll tell you this. Now, if you're going to give without expectation, unless you have a formal business agreement.
Wow.
Ooh,
Wow.
unconditional. I use that like without conditionals, right? We use that word like unconditional. Without expectations for me equals unconditional. Look, and going back to what you were saying, sis, about even in relationships, especially in more committed relationships, if, whatever that looks like, that is something that Blanca, I have been looking at and working on more deeper this 2024. What is my communication? How am I going to have, what's my relationship with this person? Am I speaking and sharing something without expectations? Is it just an unconditional communication or request or an ask? And then like Raquel and I, or you and I, because we're in business and friendship together, that back and forth, right? Like the back and forth, there is expectation for me is something that really kind of squashes stuff. So when you get very clear in your communication, what you're looking for, what you're asking for, what you want answered, what you can give back, it's that back and forth. So I love that. I love it.
Yeah, 100%. Because it's very easy to build resentment when you give and then you expect something back. That is a guaranteed way to get your heart broken. And I highly recommend against that because my heart got broken about 100 times, and then I just said no more. After the 100th heartbreak, it's time to change the practice. And Joanna, we will be happy to email you because you've been providing such valuable feedback. We'll email you a complimentary summary of all the 10 laws that I'm talking about tonight. And I really, really do appreciate the feedback. So the next law, this is a really big one. It seems so simple, but it's not. And it's the law number 4 is being authentic. And this is actually a very difficult thing to master. And it requires being truly genuine in your interactions. But in a way, being in integrity, keeping your promises, is going to help create a positive reputation of being authentic. And so that means, being true to who you are and living your best self.
Wow. These are really great. I've got to say it. I love this reciprocity and mutual exchange. And Reg, as you were talking about expectations, that's part of the clear communication is if you have these expectations. Also, Blanca mentioned having that contract, right? Your expectations are a part of that contract. That's a binding legal document between parties. Not just two, it could be 4 people, whatever it is. It's a legal binding document. And being authentic, listen, y'all, the truth is nobody's born authentic, okay? It's something you learn and you're constantly working at just being authentic and sharing your true self. And part of being authentic has to do with being vulnerable,
I
right?
completely agree. Yeah.
I
So,
will say, I will challenge my sister for a second, that I think we're all born, right? Like born and then we lose it, right? Like we're a child with just complete innocent and authenticity. They don't even really know what it is, but they're
you have a
true, right?
7-year-old, don't you?
I do. And she is no joke, right? So the fact is that what happens along the way as we grow up, that all those situations that have us kind of either hold back from what we want to say or start comparing ourselves to what, who we're going to say it with. It's like, I feel like as adults, we're going back to finding our true voice, finding our, getting connected back to who we are. And it's like, I think, like you said, Blanca, one of the most, I don't even know if the word is challenging, but I would say for me, where I'm at, the most one that I spend the most time grounding myself saying, I'm going to be straight. That's why I'm working with Raquel. That's why we chose to have you on the show, right? Knowing who we are, knowing what we're about, knowing very clearly what the show is, what we're all sharing in our communication, all of that. So I think it's really great. And it's interesting. I'm wondering about some of the people that are listening. You know, do you deal with, or how do you deal with authenticity for yourself in your relationships, and especially if you have a business? Is there anything you want to ask Blanca? If there's anything you want to ask us about, like, you might have a struggle in that, right? You might have a
Mm.
struggle in that. Trust me, Blanca and Raquel will get you straight on that one.
I'll tell you something else that really did help me get more authentic and more grounded is learning meditation with Sunny Arfa. That has played a big role in helping quiet my mind, and I'm still working on my listening, but I've gotten 80% better. I'm still not perfect, I'm told, but I'm working on it, right? But I'm conscious of it, and to be more quiet and listen more.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
That's why that whole you have two ears and one mouth, right? It's to listen more.
Exactly.
So it makes
Well,
sense.
100%. Now the next law is my favorite law because that's the one where I get to talk a lot, I get to be bubbly and energetic, and that's when I get fired up, and that's strategic networking.
Mm.
And there's Regina. There's Regina La Mexicana. Um, that lady in pink with me in the pink jacket is Marta Rose Thorpe. We did a women's mastermind, Laws of Life, women only. We did it 3 times in 2019. We sold 250 tickets,
Wow.
250 women to 3 women's masterminds. So there is a magical connection that women share. And since we're talking about building female business relationships, it really is healthy to find at least one group where you are networking with just women, with our sisters. And like
Mm.
for Valentine's Day, we had a Galentine's lunch. For when the Barbie movie first came out, we did a Barbie lunch, and we all pretended that we were a different Barbie. Now you'll never guess which Barbie I was. I was Brooklyn Barbie.
I
Wow.
knew it. I knew it.
There you
I've seen her
go.
go Brooklyn, Rock. I've seen her go Brooklyn.
Really? Now, are
Well,
you
when
a
I
real
get
Brooklyn or
really
are you just acting like a Brooklyn?
That's right. That's There is this side of Blanca that I call Brooklyn Blanca, where I get very passionate. I become my Romanian mother Sheila, but not in an angry way. I get really aggressive and I just say exactly how it is. Um, but yeah, with strategic networking, finding a group of women that you can dress up with. And when you go
Mm.
out with women, you know how you dress differently for a man than you dress for a woman?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you do women networking, you dress for, in a women executive standard, and it's some of the most beautiful fashion that you can really step into, where you're not focused on your sexuality as a woman. You're not focused on being sexy. You're focused on being empowered. You're focused
Mm.
on being around other women. And it's a higher level in a way of connection because it's an intellectual and it's a sister connection. So
Mm.
I highly recommend that you find groups where you can connect with women and that you make it a practice to connect with whatever group you choose on a regular basis. Because if you just jump into a group one time and walk away and say nothing happened, the reason nothing happened is because you didn't make it a practice. And this is where I go Brooklyn. You got to commit to your community. If you don't build the seeds and plant the seeds, the friendships will not grow. You have to
Mm.
go back every week for months, for years. And I promise you, you'll make the best connections of your life. And Colleen says, where do you get a copy of these laws of life? If you drop your email in the comments, Colleen, or DM Rise and Thrive Together, we'll send you a complimentary copy of the PDF summarizing these 10 laws of female business relationships.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's my girl. That's my girl, Colleen. But we thank you, Regina, for saying this. But Johnny
and I,
Regan,
what is,
Johnny
what's,
Regan, our first male of the evening, our Blanca's mentor, Blanca's huge mentor, the visionary of all visions in life, the creator of the Global Vision Conference, brings up this fabulous question for all of us to think about. How do you three stay so collaborative instead of competitive in the world of business? Love the question. We're going to throw it to our guests first, and then I'd love to hear you, sis. And anybody out there who is in relationships with women, personal or professional, how do you make that work? So, Blanca, what do you want to say to Johnny who's writing in here?
well, that's actually a lesson that you learn very early as an entrepreneur. It's another very hard lesson because this one, if you go into a networking meeting, you have to find the love in every relationship that you connect. So now I'm going to go Brooklyn. Cut out the jealousy, cut out the territoriality, cut out the possessiveness. If you are truly a visionary, then you can find a visionary collaboration with any human being on this planet if you really think about it. So
Mm,
I did that with children when I produced The Laws of Amazing Kids. You can do it too. You could do it with another personal injury attorney and say, hey, you don't like to go to jury trials? I do. Let's go 50-50 on the fee and work the case together. You can always find a way to collaborate with the competition.
Mm.
absolutely, absolutely. That's very true. What I find is the only person I'm in competition with is myself. The me of yesterday, the me from a week ago. I'm not in competition with anybody because then that would mean that person is exactly like me. And there's nobody like me. And that's not to say anything against anybody. Please don't take it there. Don't be unnecessary. I'm gonna get real Brooklyn. Don't do
I
that.
was gonna,
Okay, let's not do that. Let's really use this. And
yep.
so for me, when I'm working with other women, for me, it's not about a competition, but it's about collaboration because we have a like vision and we want to see that vision come to fruition. And the only way to do that is to connect with people who have a like vision because there's no space for this competition to breed contentment in the relationship. So we don't have time for that. When you are extremely focused on your vision, you don't have time for all the fluff and foolishness and buffoonery. That is one of my favorite words
Amen.
other than pivot. Foolishness and buffoonery. You don't. You are so focused in, you're like, okay, you don't have the same vision. It's all right. Love you, but I'm going to find somebody and we're going to get this done. You're about your business. You're not about fooling around. So it's really easy for me to connect with women. And if I feel a woman has some issues, then that's her issue. We can talk it out or you can hold on to that. But are we going to make this here happen?
And
That's
Joanna
the
throws it right in there. There's less competition when we are confident in who we are and what we have to offer. Drop the mic on
absolutely.
that one, right?
Now, sis, I'm
Colleen
not
writes
going to let you
in,
get away with just reading comments now. You put Blanca and I
I
out
will,
there.
no, I'm
Come on.
gonna, because pretty much you guys have it right there. Let me just give Colleen, because this is a girl of mine who I've known for over 30 years. She's like, I so agree with Raquel. We're only in competition with ourselves. Stop worrying about what everyone else is doing. I want to use it. I stopped there because Colleen is one of my mentors as a singer. I met Colleen over 30 years ago. She has one of the most extraordinary voices on the planet. She has sang with the band so many times. And you could look when you have a bunch of females, right? Look at divas like Cher and Beyonce and X, Y, and Z, and who's not talking to who. Colleen welcomed me in with open arms and was like, girl, you've got talent. Girl, what do you need? And vice versa. That's been our relationship for 30 years. It is why we call this show Rise and Thrive Together. It is not about, one another. We see what our strengths are. We feel the strengths. We look for what might that we could put in our own power to put in that makes a difference to help that person rise, not come from a space of, hey, I know this and that. It comes from a space of what can I provide you? Do you mind me sharing with you like what I saw, like that? That's all there is in it. And Blanca, Raquel, you're right, because anything and everything is possible in communication. And when you're open and willing open and willing to not hear it, but listen for it and lean into it. That is my drop mic moment.
All right. Blanca, in the time that we've got left.
None.
How much time do we have left?
None.
Zero.
Well, I think we should go another half an hour because we got a lot of engagement. What do you guys say?
All right.
Bonus 10 minutes.
You're the collaborative businesswoman. Wear it down.
Exactly.
Let's keep going. This
All right, we're
conversation
going.
is good.
We're
Well,
on number
let's
6.
All right, number 6 is continuous learning. This is so important. Now, what I've done, actually, there's a dry erase board. I'm in my office right now at Mager Paruas. And I'm just going to say this. Make this what I call a daily segment of your day. That at least for 30 minutes or 15 minutes, you know we have the greatest university in the world. It's called YouTube. You can learn anything in this world virtually by going to YouTube. And every day I spend at least 1 hour either attending a seminar, a webinar, or just watching a YouTube video before I even get out of bed in the morning. But just learn something new every day. It really ignites the heart. And as far as how that affects the female business relationship, after you learn something, share it. Share it with another female entrepreneur. And say, hey, I just watched, it can take you all, it's like dress shopping, right? You can try on 100 dresses till you find the right dress. It's the same thing with learning. You can watch 100 YouTube videos till you find one nugget that works for you, but you share that nugget with one of your girlfriends, and it's going to go far.
Oof.
I love
Take her
that
dress
continuous
shopping.
learning. Yeah, I'm not too big on the dress shopping. But I'm not a shopper. I know that gene did not get into me. But the continuous learning, I absolutely love it. The only time you stop learning something new is when you're dead.
Boom.
And at that point, if you didn't learn anything new, it's too late to have regrets. So let's not be a community, a culture, a society that has regrets. Learn something. And Blanca nailed it when she said, not just learn it, share it. Don't keep it to yourself. You can't build community when you're selfish and you're not sharing information. I have a friend. I share so much information. Every time I learn something new, I share it with him. And he's like, oh my God, I get so exhausted talking to you because you have so much information coming at me all the time. And it's about different things. It's about investing. It's about real estate. It's about all kinds of stuff. But I love to share what I know, and what people do with the information, it's on them. But I did my part, and I learn and I share.
That is precious. That's it.
Ooh, we are back. Kirill, who is the master of all masters for our show and for Blanca, says, I agree. Every day is a continuous learning with my mama Blanca.
You know that that Kirill and I have recorded probably over 500 videos of me working with Kirill.
Wow.
Is an extraordinary. She's the director of communication for the Laws of Life platform and our chief engineer of all of our shows on the Roku, including Rise and Thrive Together right now. So shout out to Kirill. But you know what? Love you too, Kirill. But you know what, Kirill? You took the time to learn, and 4.5 years later, Kirill has been a full-time employee of Laws of Life for 4.5 years. That's unheard of in these times. Unheard of.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
She's an amazing human being.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. All right. Well, I don't want to keep your audience because I know that they're busy. So I will just tell you women empowerment number 7. And then if you want, we can share whoever wants to have the rest of the Laws of Life email to them. Does that sound like a plan? What do you ladies think? The ball's in your court.
Yes, go for it.
All right. So the last law I'm going to share, and then to get the remaining laws, you can drop your email to Rise and Thrive Together. And that, of course, is the concept of empowerment. And what does empowerment mean to me is to shout from the rooftops in your best Brooklyn voice the accomplishments to have other women on your show, just like you ladies are empowering me now. I've been getting chills the whole night from the beauty of this delightful conversation. I feel so alive in this conversation. Your friendship is such a gift. So when you shine a light on other women, you're going to that means sharing their videos. That means going live about their event, not just your event, their event. That means doing an email blast about another entrepreneur, doing a postcard and passing it out to 100 people, going to an event, giving up your speech time to talk about someone else and not yourself. How are you
Right.
going to empower another woman today?
Wow.
Ooh, I love that. That's a
And,
fabulous way. Like, here's homework, guys. We never give homework. We only give opportunities. We give opportunities. How are you going to empower another woman? We started the show in the beginning of this month with that same question. I put it out there. Raquel dropped it. What action are you going to take today, wherever you are, whatever time zone you're in? It does not matter. How are you going to empower someone else today, tonight, if it's the next day, wherever you are? And I'm going to throw in a second one. How are you going to empower yourself? How are you going
and
to
let
empower
me
yourself?
just piggyback on that. This is not a one-time thing, and I'm only going to empower another woman
Yeah.
in March because it's Women's History Month. This is all the time. If you
Yes.
see, and we talked about this earlier in the month, compliment one woman per day. Just one woman. Don't keep it to yourself. Oh my gosh, I like that handbag, but and then you got a story. Just go over and say, hey, I like your handbag. That's really cool. Whatever it is, compliment one woman, empower another woman. And then, like Red said, how am I going to empower myself? Blanca, you really and truly went above and beyond with these 10 laws. Let me just run through them really quickly. Share a vision. Don't keep it to yourself. Clear communication, reciprocity, be authentic, strategic networking, continuous learning, and number 7 was empowerment. And as she said, send us your emails. We will be more than happy to share these 10 laws. And don't just get them and you hold on. Didn't you hear what it says? It says continuous learning and sharing. So share it with someone else. We want to thank you so much, Blanca, for being here. We truly appreciate you. You dropped the mic like 7 times because you only gave us 7 laws. We're going to have you come back and finish this up because this was absolutely incredible, incredible. And remember, as always, together we can rise and thrive. Till next time.